if we define our relationship to the world in terms of left-wing and right-wing values, it actually logically follows that America is the most left-wing power on planet Earth. All of the values leftists and liberals care about are being shouldered almost on the basis exclusively of America's unipolar globalistic power. Fancy me this, chat. When you think of a leftist, where does it come from? Does someone living in Iraq have a spontaneous inclination to be a leftist? Does someone living in Bangladesh have a spontaneous inclination to be one of these leftists? Do they speak like them? Do they act like them? What about someone living in Mozambique? What about someone living in Nigeria? What about someone living in Peru? Well, we know the people in Peru who act like these leftists in America. They're the fucking right-wing reaction. It is a fundamentally American phenomena, both in origin and in significance and relevance. Leftism, as you know it, is 100% an American phenomenon. The Chinese are not politically correct. The Russians are not politically correct. The authentic European leftists are not politically correct. Latin Americans are not politically, Middle Easterns are not politically correct. It is a disease that has its entire origin in America. So much so that we can actually come to the conclusion that what most people mean by leftism today, in America at least, is a fundamentally State Department, establishment, globalistic ideology that was incubated in the institutions of the deep state and the ruling class and has their origins there. Now, these tankies may superficially disagree and reject imperialism, but this is the same way that a person becomes psychotic. They foreclose their true origins and they just fucking go crazy. It's like an NPC robot manufactured in a lab malfunctioning. That's why so-called tankies who are woke will never actually acquire widespread significance. They're a very niche NPC malfunction from the labs concocted in the institutions of the deep state. No, not French universities, believe it or not. 100% American in origin and in significance. Not even specifically Anglo, believe it or not. Even in England, importing this wicked, nefarious ideology is an extension of a specifically American imperialism. So now we don't have to make a huge leap to arrive at BreadTube's position.